to talk to you guys a simple thing. I have an upright Frigidaire freezer, and the temperature right here, zoom in on it. Alright, it's at 72. You can zoom back out. It's at 72 degrees, and it's jumping from 72 to 65 degrees. Now, I constantly hear some clicking noise that's going on in here. So, as you can, the first thing you got to do when you try to diagnose something is actually, the best thing to do is listen to it. I hear the refrigerator running. So that tells me that the fan is going. So it can't be the fan that's not pushing air through the freezer to keep it cool. So it has to be a problem within the back. So I'm going to turn this around. Okay, now that I have the refrigerator, the freezer turned around, I want you to zoom in on this. This is the compressor right here. And what I'm going to do right now is just going to listen to it. And just listen. And what I'm looking for is a clicking sound. That clicking sound lets me know the relay actually is going to kick on the compressor. And I'm just listening to it. Alright, while we're listening, I want you to zoom in. Zoom in and get a better angle. Zoom in and get a better angle. Move the camera over there. Now, right here, this black box is the run capacitor, and this beige box is the relay, and this is the compressor, this big thing. So what happened was we had a big flood, and it was underwater, so we unplugged the freezer, and when we plugged it back in, it just, the temperature was running high like I just showed you before. So I'm just going to listen to see what's going to happen. Now you heard that click right there. That click lets me know that the compressor is actually running. I have my hand on the compressor and it's vibrating, and it just clicked again. It lets me know that the compressor just turned off. What you're hearing right now, that roaring noise, that's the fan inside of the freezer. So what I'm going to do right now is unplug it. Alright. So now that I have it unplugged, I'm going to use my tools, and I have some pliers right here. I'm going to remove the retaining clip. Can you see it? Alright, I'm going to remove this retaining clip off. Take that off. And you want to be very gentle, because right here you have some dye stuff, and I see some goo. Has some stuff right there. So alright. So what I want to do now is that it's off, I want to remove the I just said relay screwdriver to get more leverage in there. There we go. So it should just come right off just like so. Now I'm going to pull this out a little bit. It's kind of difficult doing this on an angle, but I get it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this. Let me get the light on there. I'm going to remove the white box. So this part right here has a retaining clip. Here, hold the flashlight also too. Now, you hear this? You hear that shaking? That and the corrosion that's on the inside of this, that lets you know that this is bad. You hear it? Now, the run capacitor, let me show you a little trick. I just had this refrigerator on, so what you don't want to do is touch these two terminals. So I'm going to discharge them. Alright, you couldn't probably hear it, but that was a weak pop. But I just touched both of them. I have my voltmeter here, what they call it, a multi-tester. I'm going to set it to ohms, which is already set to ohms. The ohm setting right here. So I'm going to touch both of these at the terminals at the same time. and it should jump. Now, I'm going to ground it out again. Now, if you look at the voltmeter, put the thing on the voltmeter. Alright, I want you to zoom in on the voltmeter. Not that much, but this actually, I'm going to touch both terminals and you're going to see the needle jump. See the needle jump and go right back down. Let me put it. So now that we know that this is good and this is bad just by shaking it, what we're going to do, I'm going to order this part right here. I'm going to put it on there, and then this bad boy will run pretty good. Now, one last thing, I got to check the compressors. All right, these terminals right here, these is what you want to put your probes on. So I'm going to what you want to do, well actually, get what I'm doing right now. Alright, I'm scratching a little part. This is an old school trick. I'm scratching a part of the compressor off with a little paint, with a paint at. Alright, I got that. So, get the terminals down. Alright, you got the terminals. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put one of each, the lead on this, put the lead on here, and I'm going to touch the terminal. I'm going to look at my voltmeter and see if it jumps to anything. Okay. Alright, after testing it, the compressor is basically good, and the relay is it sucks. So, you can see the corrosion on the inside is very, very bad. Now, another way to test this is just, once again, as you hear me shaking it, the box is all jacked up. Alright, I'm going to show you a video on me installing it, and then you'll see it work. Hello, I just got my part back. I ordered it from Parts Select. It came in actually 2 days. And remember I ordered the start relay. Now, remember the relay was back here. It was right here. And when I disconnected it, it was connected to this wire here, and I just pulled it off. Alright, I was moving so fast that I forgot to tell you how to disconnect the run capacitor. It is very easy to do. All you do is just grab it and just pull it right off. Now, once again, it's bad. Now, it was shaking before, but what if it couldn't shake? So what you want to do is, you see your voltmeter right here. I'll move it so you can see it. This needle should move up. The needle didn't move. Alright, so that's the bad one. Now the good one, we could do the same thing. I will show you that this needle is going to move. So let's put the probes in. See that the needle move? Alright, I'll show you again. It's going to move. Alright, I had it at the highest setting, and that's the on setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the run capacitor onto here, like so. Just push it on. Now I'm going to attach the start relay back onto this. Just okay. Now that I have it in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these 3 prongs right here. I'm just going to slide it back on like it was before. Get it under there. And be very careful not to move these tubings around or try to hit the tubings. And it might take a second to actually line these back up. I'm using my left hand. Alright, so now I'm going to really get us a nice little push, and gotta wiggle it, but don't wiggle so much. You don't want to break any parts. Get it on there nice and tight. Push it as far as you can. And You try to zoom in there, shine the light right here. You want it to get it as flush as possible to the capacitor, the back part. Alright, I zoom out. This is the retainer clip. You put the retainer clip back on here. It goes on this side. Oops. Goes on this side like so. It goes around. It's going to be trying to trick. Okay. The relay just clicked. The compressor came on. It's running. It's vibrating. Well, what I mean by vibrate is a low vibration. You can feel it running. So I'm going to check back in like 20 minutes, and I'm going to look at the temperature to see how it, what the temperature is at. It should take like 20 minutes for you to notice a big drastic degree change. Do you have my face? No. Okay, it's been about like 10 minutes, and as you can see right here, zoom in. Alright, you see the temperature? It's at 56 degrees, and remember before it was at 72, and I should have showed you the temperature before I plugged it in, but it was actually in the upper 80s. So within 10 minutes, it already jumped down 30 degrees. If I open it, I don't want to open it up because I want the temperature to drop, but actually you can feel on the side that the compressor is actually working because the side of the refrigerator is kind of warm. Well, not the refrigerator, the freezer is actually warm. And that lets me know that the compressor is actually working. Now, that part was only $30. But if they would have came out here like Sears or anybody else, they would have charged you $80 or probably even $100 to put that part on. Now, majority of the time, people think that it's not cooling properly is because of you need more Freon. Technically, you do not need Freon ever in a compressor, or because a compressor is a sealed unit. The Freon would not go out of the compressor unless it was actually hit or one of the coils is actually broken or damaged or had corrosion on it. So they would have came out here, and if I didn't know what I was talking about, they would have said, hey, you need more Freon in it. They would have charged me probably for Freon, which they wouldn't have put none in it in the first place, or they would have charged me a compressor. So that would have probably cost close to $300. So a simple little $30 part, do it yourself, which you saw that was very, very easy. Got it down. And as we're talking, it just jumped down to 2 more degrees. Alright, so let you know that a simple repair is very do it yourself or pay a high buck. It's up to you whether you want to do it or not. Alright. Hello, I'm going to talk to you guys a simple thing. I have an upright Frigidaire freezer, and the temperature right here, zoom in on it. Alright, it's at 72. You can zoom back out. It's at 72 degrees, and it's jumping from 72 to 65 degrees. Now, I constantly hear some clicking noise that's going on in here. So, as you can, the first thing you got to do when you try to diagnose something is actually, the best thing to do is listen to it. I hear the refrigerator running. So that tells me that the fan is going. So it can't be the fan that's not pushing air through the freezer to keep it cool. So it has to be a problem within the back. So I'm going to turn this around. Okay, now that I have the refrigerator, or the freezer turned around, I want you to zoom in on this. This is the compressor right here. And what I'm going to do right now is just going to listen to it. And just listen. And what I'm looking for is a clicking sound. That clicking sound lets me know to start, the